is Francesco Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report. So, I was out there and doing what I normally do, which is read news, especially on weekends. And I was reading this one article when this guy broke down 6 huge stories that have come out over the last couple of days and how they have you questioning humanity. And one of them involves this story that you see right here, which is some kids. Now you're probably wondering, what's going on? You hear a kid? Well, you probably don't hear the kid, but he's screaming and he's blurred out. And what's going on? So this is one of those crazy stories where it's in Arkansas. And it's a video, and if you could hear the sounds, it's kind of heartbreaking where you got a kid there, and he's a 4-year-old, he's in preschool, and his classmates are pelting him with rocks. And supposedly what happened is, and this happened back in April, but it's just this video is just going viral now, where a teacher sat there and told everybody, I guess what this kid did is this 4-year-old picked up a rock and he allegedly threw it in the direction of the teacher. The teacher got pissed, and so she told everybody to pick up rocks and throw them allegedly back at this kid and to pelt this kid. And this happened over in Forest City, Arkansas. And Fox 13 put out the story on it, questioning why would somebody do that. This article also opined on another one in Kansas City, where this has been out there and a lot of people are familiar with it, but it's basically where police have sex with people, they pull over for traffic violations or criminal investigations, and that it's actually legal since the new law had passed, and a lot of people aren't aware of it. And it's legal in 33 states where police can go out and have consensual sex with people in custody. It wasn't a crime, it hasn't been a crime. So Kansas, and this is from Kansas.com, basically went out and looked at these new laws and how it bans sexual relations with anyone that you stop, put in custodial custody and all that good stuff. Getting away with sex on the job, they basically said is a lot harder now if it weren't for the law, just with the cameras. And so it's one of those ones that just leave you scratching your head. But remember, it's legal in 33 states. Then the article opined about Iowa, where a man and his dog, this is just crazy. He said his dog was inadvertently shot him during some roughhousing, and it's a pit bull. And you always hear these stories about, oh no, the pit bull attack, and all the pit bull lovers come out and they get crazy because you're attacking pit bulls or you're negative on them. But this story is a little bit different in that regard, in how pit bulls, basically what happened is this guy was roughhousing with his dog, okay? Nothing wrong with that. Everybody roughhouses with dogs, okay? So he's out there, he's doing that. And he pushed the dog away, and somehow when he pushed the pit bull away over in Fort Dodge in Iowa, the dog got the safety off somehow and shot this dude Remy in the leg. And so he said his dog had shot him. In Florida, where I live, you always get the crazy stories, and it doesn't get much crazier, where you got John Carr's girlfriend, Crystal Lee Anderson. And she was wanted for some kind of robbery of a Burger King and something going back in 2015. They found out where she was, so he hid her in a plastic container. And somehow, according to the Lakeland Ledger, Anderson was shot and lost her leg in the incident. They didn't give a lot of specifics on it. Arizona, you pop over there, you got this woman. I read this story earlier in the week. It was interesting. She sent, and I don't know how the hell she has enough time to do this, kind of like those FBI agents that text back and forth. She sent 65,000 texts to this guy that she was obsessed with. They went out, I guess they hooked up online, and she started threatening him, and she would send sometimes up to 500 texts a day. It was an attraction that turned into a nightmare. And she would allegedly show up to his house with a butcher's knife in the car, praising Adolf Hitler. She claimed to be his wife at some point. And at one point, she broke into the guy's house and took a shower. And I remember reading about that. I'm like, who the hell has the time for 65,000 texts? I don't. Another one that he covered, and this guy had essentially 6, and he talked about a story that he said was more disturbing, and it involved this guy, Brandon LaCroix in South Carolina, a white guy that was offering $500 for someone to come out and do a hit on his black neighbor not only a hit, he wanted the guy's body hung up in a tree and burn a cross in the lawn. So he went to a white supremacist group to seek assistance to do this. And they basically did the right thing, which was turned it over to the FBI in Virginia, who then this guy talked to an undercover agent and got arrested. He's facing 10 years in prison and can be fined up to $250,000. And so this basically just breaks down on hoping there's a lot more good out there in the world than there is bad, trying to find some humanity. And, it basically questions one's faith in humanity when you see stuff like this. And, I'm looking at that picture, and it's tragic if you could hear the kid's voice, and I'll try to put a link to that viral video. So what say you guys? Has the world lost focus? Has all humanity escaped us here in the United States? Are these just isolated cases? Isolated incidences? I don't know. You let me know. This has been Francesco Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report.